Every NBA draft has that one player who doesn't dominate the headlines on draft night, but 6 months later, everyone is asking the same question. How did this guy fall that far? The San Antonio Spurs may have found exactly that kind of player in Jacoby Gillespie. While everyone is focused on the franchise's bigger names, Gillespie quietly has the skill set to become one of the biggest surprises from this entire draft class. He's not the flashiest athlete, he's not going to throw down highlight dunks every night, and he probably won't lead SportsCenter's top 10. But what he does bring might actually be exactly what this Spurs roster needs. Elite shooting, high IQ decision-making, tough perimeter defense, and perhaps most importantly, someone who understands how to make everyone around him better. Now, does that mean he'll become an all-star? Not necessarily. There are definitely parts of his game that still need work before he's ready for a major NBA role. But today, we're breaking down exactly what Jacoby Gillespie can bring to the Spurs, where he fits in the rotation, and why this draft pick could end up looking like a very underrated pick of the entire class. Let's get into it. Who is Jacoby Gillespie? When you first watch Jacoby play, one thing becomes obvious almost immediately. The game moves slower for him than it does for everyone else. That's one of the hardest qualities to teach. Some players rely on pure athleticism, others rely on size. Gillespie relies on reading the floor. He's constantly surveying the defense before making his move. Instead of forcing difficult shots, he's looking for the right basketball play. That sounds simple, but in today's NBA, it's incredibly valuable. The Spurs have spent years building around smart, unselfish basketball players. Gillespie fits that identity almost perfectly. He's comfortable running an offense, he's patient in the pick and roll, he rarely panics under pressure, and he understands spacing better than most young guards entering the league. Those are winning habits. The shooting could get him on the floor immediately. If there's one skill that translates almost instantly to the NBA, it's shooting. And that's where Gillespie has a chance to make an early impact. The modern NBA is all about spacing. Teams are constantly looking for guards who force defenses to stay attached beyond the three-point line. That's exactly what Gillespie offers. Defenders can't simply go under screens against him. Leave him open, he's comfortable pulling from several feet behind the arc. Close out too aggressively, he has the vision to attack and find the open teammate. That's what makes him dangerous. He's not just a shooter, he's a shooter that creates other opportunities. Imagine him standing on the perimeter while defenses collapse toward the paint. Suddenly, those kick-out passes become much more dangerous. Defenses have to respect him. That alone changes spacing for everyone else. One reliable floor spacer can completely change an offense, and that's something San Antonio has been working to improve. A pick-and-roll playmaker. One of the biggest reasons Gillespie could earn playing time is his comfort operating the pick and roll. This is where his basketball IQ really shines. He doesn't just come off a screen looking to score, he's reading multiple defenders at once. Did the big defender step up? Throw the pocket pass. Did the weak side defender help? Skip pass to the corner. Did both defenders hesitate? Pull up jumper. Everything happens naturally. The best point guards don't simply run plays, they manipulate defenses. Gillespie already shows flashes of doing exactly that. He's patient, he changes speeds well, he doesn't rush. That's rare for young guards. Many rookies enter the NBA trying to prove they belong by forcing difficult plays. Gillespie almost does the opposite. He's comfortable letting the game come to him. That maturity could earn trust from the coaching staff much earlier than people expect.
He makes the simple play look easy. Sometimes basketball fans overlook players who make the right play because it's, well, boring. No flashy crossover, no step-back three, no impossible highlight pass. Just the correct basketball decision, over and over and over again. That's Gillespie. He values possession. He protects the basketball. He doesn't gamble unnecessarily. Those little things don't show up in viral clips, but they absolutely help teams win basketball games. NBA coaches love guards they can trust, especially late in games, especially against pressure defenses, especially when every possession matters. If Gillespie proves he can continue making smart decisions at NBA speed, he'll give himself a chance to carve out real minutes. The defense might surprise people. Here's where I think Gillespie is being underrated. People see his size and automatically assume he'll struggle defensively. That's not necessarily true. Does size matter? Absolutely. But effort, positioning, communication, and anticipation matter too. Gillespie competes, he stays engaged, he fights through screens, he gets into passing lanes, he's constantly active. Some defenders rely on athletic gifts, others rely on efforts and intelligence. Gillespie falls into that second category. He's the kind of defender that frustrates opposing guards because he's always in the right spot. He's constantly making offenses work harder than they'd like. And while he may never become someone who locks down every elite scorer, he absolutely has the tools to become a reliable team defender. That's an important distinction. Not every defender has to be a shutdown specialist. Sometimes simply being dependable is incredibly valuable. Why he fits the Spurs style. One thing that stands out when watching Gillespie is how naturally he plays within a team concept. He doesn't dominate the ball. He doesn't hunt statistics. He's constantly moving without it. He's setting up teammates. He's communicating. He's making quick decisions. Those are exactly the habits successful NBA role players develop. Every championship-caliber team has players willing to embrace their role. The stars get the most attention, but it's the complementary players who often determine how successful a season becomes. Gillespie has the mentality to become one of those complementary pieces. He's willing to do the little things. He's willing to defend. He's willing to move the basketball. He's willing to sacrifice individual numbers if it means helping the team. That mindset alone gives him a strong chance to stick in the NBA. He plays with confidence, not ego. There's a difference. Confident players believe every shot they take has a chance to go in. Players with an ego believe every possession has to end with them. Gillespie doesn't play that way. He takes good shots, he passes up bad ones, he trusts teammates. He doesn't force offense just to pad his scoring numbers. Ironically, that often leads to more efficient scoring. Good decisions tend to create good opportunities. That's exactly the kind of offensive discipline NBA teams appreciate. Now, let's talk about what he still has to improve. As exciting as Gillespie's potential is, no rookie enters the NBA as a finished product. Every young player has areas that need work. And for Gillespie, there are few that stand out immediately. The biggest one? His size. Against college competition, his skill and basketball IQ often allowed him to dictate the pace of the game. In the NBA, that's much harder to do. Night after night, he'll be matched up against bigger, stronger, and faster guards. Some opponents will have 3 or 4 inches on him. Others will outweigh him by 20 pounds or more. That's simply life in today's NBA. It doesn't mean he can't succeed. It just means he'll have to find different ways to win those matchups. Instead of relying on physical tools, he'll have to continue leaning on positioning, anticipation, and effort. Fortunately, those are already strengths of his game. But adding strength over the next couple of years will be critical. An NBA strength program could completely change how effective he becomes defensively. The stronger he gets, the more difficult he'll be to knock off his spot, the more effectively he'll fight through screens, and the better he'll finish through contact. That development won't happen overnight, but it's one of the biggest factors that could determine just how high his ceiling really is. Finishing at the rim. Another adjustment Gillespie is going to face is scoring inside. College defenders often gave him enough space to maneuver around the basket. The NBA is different. The help defenders are quicker, the shot blockers recover faster, the windows close almost instantly. Finishing over 7-footers is an entirely different challenge. Right now, Gillespie often relies on craft rather than explosiveness. That can still work. Some of the league's smartest guards have built long careers using floaters, hesitation moves, wrong foot layups, and clever angles instead of trying to outjump everyone. But he'll need to expand that package, developing a more consistent floater, learning when to absorb contact, using his body to shield defenders, changing speeds even more effectively. Those little improvements can make a huge difference. If defenders begin respecting him as a consistent finisher inside, they'll have to step up sooner. And when that happens, his passing becomes even more dangerous. Can he defend multiple positions? This is probably the biggest question NBA teams will ask. Can he switch? Or is he strictly a one-position defender? Today's NBA is built around versatility. Teams hunt mismatches. If they identify a weak defender, they'll attack him over and over again. Gillespie has the instincts to survive, but there will be nights when bigger guards try to bully him. That's where adding strength becomes even more important. If he can hold his ground against physical guards, suddenly he becomes much more valuable, because coaches love players they don't have to hide defensively. And if Gillespie proves he can consistently compete on that end, his minutes could increase much faster than many people expect. The pace of the NBA is different. Another adjustment every rookie experiences is speed. Not just running speed, decision-making speed. Everything happens faster. Defenses rotate faster. Closeouts are quicker. Passing lanes disappear almost instantly. Veteran defenders know exactly how to bait young guards into mistakes. Gillespie has always been known for making smart decisions. That's encouraging, but there will still be growing pains. There will be games where he turns the ball over more than he'd like, games where he hesitates for just a split second, games where he passes up an open shot. That's normal. The important part is how quickly he adjusts. Given everything we've seen from his college career, there's good reason to believe he'll adapt faster than many rookies.
Where does he fit in the rotation? This is where things get really interesting. Gillespie doesn't need to average 20 points a game to help this team. In fact, that's probably not what they'll ask him to do. His value comes from making life easier for everyone else. Picture him checking into a game with the second unit. Immediately, the ball starts moving, the pace becomes organized, the offense flows naturally. The floor is spaced because defenders have to respect his jumper. He gets everyone into the right spots, he keeps turnovers low, and he provides energy on defense. Those contributions don't always show up in the box score, but they absolutely show up in winning basketball. That's the kind of role young guards often grow into before taking on larger responsibilities. And if he excels there, who knows where things go from there? His ceiling. So, what's the best-case scenario? If everything develops the way the Spurs hope, Gillespie could become one of the league's most dependable rotation guards, someone capable of playing meaningful minutes every night, a guard who knocks down open threes, creates offense without dominating the basketball, makes winning plays, defends with energy, and consistently helps stabilize lineups. Those players are incredibly valuable. Every playoff team is looking for guards like that. Could he eventually become more? Absolutely. If his handle tightens, if he becomes a better finisher, if his strength improves, if his defensive versatility expands, there's room for even more growth. That's what's exciting. His game is built around skills that generally age well. Basketball IQ, passing, shooting, decision-making. Those traits tend to translate across different roles and different lineups. His floor. Even if everything doesn't go perfectly, there's still a realistic path for Gillespie to stick in the NBA. Reliable backup guards have long careers, especially guards who can shoot, take care of the basketball, understand team defense, and accept their role. That's a valuable combination. Not every draft pick becomes a superstar. Some become players coaches trust every single night. That may not generate headlines, but it absolutely wins basketball games. Why this pick could look better every single year.
Sometimes draft picks receive too much attention because of their athleticism. Other times, the smartest basketball players quietly outperform expectations. Gillespie feels like one of those prospects. He isn't trying to wow everyone with impossible highlight plays. He's trying to make the correct play every possession. That's sustainable basketball. That's winning basketball. And that's exactly why this pick could look better every single year. As the game slows down, as he gains experience, as he gets stronger, his strengths become even more valuable. When people look back at this draft a few years from now, there's a chance Jacoby Gillespie won't be remembered because of flashy dunks or viral highlights. He'll be remembered because he became exactly what every successful NBA team needs: a dependable guard, a smart decision maker, a knockdown shooter, a willing defender, a player who consistently makes the right basketball play. Will there be challenges? Absolutely. He'll have to adjust to the physicality. He'll have to become a better finisher. He'll need to add strength and continue improving defensively against bigger guards. Those are real hurdles, but they're also the kinds of things NBA development programs are built to address. The foundation is already there: his basketball IQ, his confidence, his shooting, his passing, his competitiveness. Those aren't easy qualities to teach, and if he continues building on those strengths while addressing the areas that need improvement, don't be surprised if, a few years from now, fans look back and say the Spurs found tremendous value when they selected Jacoby Gillespie. Sometimes the biggest stars of a draft aren't the players everyone talks about on draft night. Sometimes they're the players who quietly improve every season until suddenly everyone realizes just how good they've become. Jacoby Gillespie has a chance to be one of those players, and that's exactly why Spurs fans should be excited about what the future could hold. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more Spurs coverage all off-season long, and let me know down in the comments, what role do you think Jacoby Gillespie will have during his rookie season? Is he an underrated pick in the draft? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.